Centers for Spiritual Living has been glow up. What the heck is that? Well, glow up is defined as an informal term for a positive personal transformation, typically one involving significant changes in appearance, style, and also growth in confidence and maturity. It's been used a lot apparently in social media. People share their glow-ups. Well, I shared a few weeks ago my story of the caterpillar and how the caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. And that they use imaginal cells to create and transform. Imaginal cells. And I believe that we have within us the power to do our own transformation and to do it in joy. So my talk today is building inner joy. But I have a confession to make. The past couple weeks have been fairly challenging at our house. Some of you know my husband's going through radiation. And it's been difficult and also an opportunity. And when I started writing this talk a couple weeks ago, because I wasn't here last Sunday, I wasn't very joyful the last couple weeks. So I'm just telling you that this talk is for me. You can just close your ears. I'm going to say it to myself. And as I was reading it and working on it yesterday, I felt the presence of Spirit supporting this situation in a very lovely, light way. Because we all want to enjoy life, don't we? Yes. I mean, what would it be without enjoyment? I think it would be quite boring, quite bleak. Right? So, how should we best enjoy our lives, especially when things are challenging? So the word enjoy comes from the Middle English word enjoyen, or I would say enjoyen. That's how they would probably say it. A composite of en, meaning in, and joy. In other words, our inner joy. Maybe that needs to be turned off. The key lies in the tiny word en, meaning in. And I think if we could only absorb that ancient wisdom of en, or in, into our stubborn and outwardly oriented minds, things might shift. Consider this, how we might find that many mighty word in countless terms that we use so often. Consider the word enlighten. Inner light. In. That's what our lives can shine with. Inner luminosity of our soul. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Which means God, in God, or God within. And Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind philosophy, in the back of the textbook, which was written in 1938. Oh, 6. Oh, so you know. He has in the glossary a definition of enthusiasm: an exaltation of soul, a lively manifestation of zeal. Zeal, we don't ever use that word, right? The root word from which we get enthusiasm actually means inspired. And one truly filled with enthusiasm is like one inspired as if filled with the divine power, which one actually is. We become enthused in the consciousness that we are God-sustained and filled with God power. Such consciousness makes our enthusiasm irresistible. Enshrine, meaning inner sanctuary. The best way to enshrine the divine is inside, in the temple of our soul. Another wonderful N word is ennoble. which means letting your nobility come from within instead of from outer status of nobility. Ensure, not the drink, not the protein drink. Ensure means inner certainty. That phrase, let's ensure that this is going to happen, right? Translated as, let's feel the inner soul certainty that this is going to happen. So all of this brings us to the art of enjoyment. And it could be written as in-joyment, enjoying life from within. This is why the great Paramahansa Yogananda instructed his disciples, we should learn to enjoy life with the soul. What did he mean? More than often, we do enjoy things from the outside in. Something beautiful or wonderful happens and we enjoy it. But the correct word for that, he said, would be exjoyment. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what if we learn to enjoy everything from the inside out? Whatever's in front of you. Or at least accept it. And not only the wonderful things, but those challenges. That's my calling right now. The difficulties. Training ourselves to be present within our soul with whatever we are going through. Just as we might go to the gym and enjoy going to the gym and lifting weights, it also might be tiresome and I don't want to go, but I'm going to do it anyway, and you get all sweaty. We can also learn to enjoy our mistakes by discovering the lessons they might be giving us. Can you see that possibility for yourself?
Yes. Absolutely.
So all of this requires that we have an inner joy available to enjoy everything. Life, events, people, in all their stages of craziness. This world, the rain, the snow, the sun, the hail, all of it. And let us be mindful of our constant criticisms. Because that certainly won't bring you joy. I know none of you have criticism. Well, Ernest had a really great little thing that he said. I never criticize, I only analyze. What others do is their business, and I may disagree, but it's still their problem. If I criticize or pass judgment on their actions, on what they do, then it becomes my problem, and it does not help the situation in any way. You can have an opinion about something, for sure, but be mindful of how much spits out of your mouth. Another great teacher is Florence Scovel Shinn, who was a metaphysician teacher in the late 20s, 30s. And she said, remember the law of the word. Every word you speak creates a mold or a shape. And into that mold, divine substance is poured. If your words are shaped by fear, then the substance of your life becomes scarcity and separation. If your words are shaped by faith, then the substance becomes your supply of order, peace, and harmony. The spiritual world is not casual. It is exact. It's the law. We talk about that a lot here. It hears you always. And what it hears from your lips, it says yes without questioning. So pay attention. Are you saying, I'm broke all the time, I can't do this? Whatever it is. Only speak, she says, what you wish to see. I need to have that as a sticky note on my chest, I think. Ernest Holmes said, we cannot experience joy around us until we have created it within us. God is the joy and zest of life. Its presence within and around us is forever calling our attention to the happiness of living the abundant life. No one destroys our joy but ourselves. And no one creates our joy for us. God's Spirit within is the cause and producer of our happiness. That divine connection. Let's affirm, I claim happiness in my heart and joy in my soul today.
I claim happiness in my heart and joy in my soul today.
Why not? Why not plant that seed? So how do we build the inner joy, the glow up that abides in each of us? I believe the answer is by contacting our soul and our God of our understanding. So if you don't like the word God, use the word spirit or creator or the divine or divine mind or the beloved. It doesn't really matter. It's one energy, one power, one infinite power. So we have to cooperate with this power and understand that it is a part of us. It is us. That's why when we go into meditation, we can practice inwardly touching the joy of our soul and the divine. And then notice how that translates into our daily life. Enjoyment. Enjoyment is subtle and deep. But we have to develop it. We have to pay attention to it. We have to make it a conscious practice. Now I fully enjoy whatever there is to enjoy. A little peace, a little connection, a little inspiration. I welcome it. Take a breath. So here's another beautiful thought from Paramahansa Yogananda. He said, God wants you to enjoy food, flowers, people, but not be attached to them. So our training is to enjoy life, making sure not to become attached to anything. Because if we get attached, again, it's enjoyment. And enjoyment that depends on those outside effects and appearances. And that's a trap. So he said the trick is enjoy everything with the inner joy of the divine in you. So how do we practice both enjoyment and enjoyment? By believing and understanding that the divine is in everything. And be mindful of how we can misuse enjoyment with things that are unhealthy, foods, drinks, etc. Because an excess of enjoyment becomes hedonism. And it was expounded by the Epicureans who fed their joy with all kinds of outer stimuli. Right? So we want to move to freedom and enjoyment, enjoying simple things. Good food, the sunset, the trees, nature, uplifting music, art, beauty. And most of all, enjoying the sweetness of friendship and community like this. That brings us joy. So think about what brings you joy, and just speak it out loud. What brings you joy? Family?
My dogs.
Dogs?
Self-assertive.
Service?
Emmett.
Emmett?
Music.
Music?
Fall colors.
Fall colors. What brings you joy?
The ocean.
The ocean. The river. The mountains. The trees. What else? How about pumpkin pie over there? That brings me great joy. Yeah. So let's nourish our enjoyment and enjoy life with our soul. And walk through life enjoying everything from within with God, the divine, the creator, as our partner. Free, unattached, and strong. Because enjoyment requires a certain inner strength or empowerment. Tough times come come to everyone. This world is both beautiful and ugly. Of course, we can allow ourselves to feel unhappy or upset for a while when sad things come. Otherwise, we wouldn't be human. Even masters cry when their close friends pass, or when they see enormous suffering. Jesus wept when Lazarus died. Nevertheless, with all of life's transitory ups and downs, the undercurrent of our lives can be definite and lasting in enjoyment and a connection with our inner self. Ernest said, life is not just something to be endured, it is to be lived in joy, in fullness, without limit. So the practices we offer here at our spiritual center create a space for an inner life that can be 1,000 times more enjoyable than the outer world. These practices that we teach here support us as we face difficult moods, tough circumstances, sickness, loss, disappointment. If we exercise that enjoyment properly, we gradually become masters of our lives and enjoy life from that inner, unseen side. Building inner joy. So something we have to pay attention to is to not take our ego so seriously. Does anybody ever do that? We have to learn to laugh at ourselves. And then laugh again. Right? You probably have a lot to laugh about in your world. And every now and then, let's be playful. Playful like a child, be silly. It adds to the fun when we don't take ourselves so seriously. However, we can say yes to life, yes to enjoying life with our soul, from our soul. Are you in?
Yes.